Okay, I kind of hope you can see what I'm doing down here. Grabbing the root. So the idea is just to rake away as much of this mulch as we can. I'm not going to worry too much about the grass and the weeds, especially this really annoying grass, because within a few days it'll be back anyway. Let's see if we can get some of it up. That's that area sorted a little bit. There's not too much of it here, but just as the ground gets wetter, it will appear like crazy. It really is a nightmare to get out without digging, and I'm just really not up for digging. You're probably just getting a view of my bum right now, but that's okay, worse things happen. It's quite incredible how far the roots on this stuff go. Okay, it's not too dreadful. I've just got my shoes full of lovely earth. Okay. I know this is a grass rake, but it's the only one I can find. As is usual with Embrace the Chaos, your tools can be just about anywhere, but not where you need them. A little bit more of that grass to pull. Some say that the more of this stuff you pull, the faster it regrows. That would not surprise me. Not surprise me one little bit. I'd like to just show you the soil. We really don't have the best soil here. But you can see there is at least some carbon in there. It's very sandy. A few little stones, but nothing much. This particular bed, I'm trying to think what's been in it this year. The answer is not an awful lot. We had second lot of tomatoes in, but they kind of failed. That's something early in the spring. Did have butternut squashes and things all planted, but they all got some sort of disease and they died off. A snail. There are snails everywhere. Oh yes, this is the remnants of the one melon that died. Pop you back there and pop you on pause for a moment. I'm going to go and get a bucket of poop. Okay, so back now. Actually got the second bucket of poop. And yes, I'm using my bare hands because the hands wash. And yes, I have several million pairs of gloves. Probably some right here in the garden. But time is of the essence and I want the job done. I'm not scared of a bit of manure. Another big juicy snail. I've actually considered putting the ducks in here, but I don't really want them to flatten everything with their great big muckle feet. As you can see, I'm putting on quite a good layer of this. It's mostly, there's a bit of hay, but it's mostly rabbit poop. So even though the rabbits are not breeding yet, they're certainly giving me their worth in poop. Just let you have a little closer look at what this is that we're adding to the soil. So you can see there's a lot of poop throughout, little bits of string as well. Now there is actually some old horse manure in here as well, just because that's where I dump things as I bring it in the garden. They're absolutely wonderful stuff. Lots and lots of poop. I'm a little bit out of breath and only moved 2 buckets. My goodness, old age doesn't come on its own. These labels don't belong to anything that's about to be planted here. Okay, so all I'm going to do is grab hold of my garlic here, which I prepared yesterday. I'm not going to use any of the smallest cloves. I've picked out the good size ones. This year we grew plenty of garlic, but unfortunately I didn't harvest it in time, so we lost it all. So I'm pretty sure if I plant this now, it should be ready to harvest around about March. And hopefully it'll get 1 or 2 frosts. We don't get a lot of frost here, but we do get a little. So let's pop you back over here in the hopes that you can actually see what's going on. The rain has now stopped. Where did I have you sitting? You were about there. Where's my little tool? I've got a couple of these little tools. This is a cheap and cheerful job. But my favourite one is its head needs reaffixing to the handle. It spins round. So all we're going to do is dig in and plant at a depth of about 4 inches. And I'm going to give them probably about 6 inches apart. Oh, that's a big chunk of something. I'm not promising it's going to be straight. It's Embrace of Chaos. We don't worry about straight. So I'm reckoning this is about 4 inches, maybe a little bit less. But that is the depth that we're going for. As I dig down in this soil, I can actually see there's quite a bit of old stuff down in there, manure and old straw and so on. Oh, look at the fly. Am I going anywhere near straight, people? Who knows? Who knows indeed. And then we'll just make another row, as I say, 6 or 8 inches apart, something like that. I wasn't sure whether I should be putting some poop down directly in the bottoms of the holes, but it'll work its way down with the rain anyway. So. Oh my goodness, people, the flies. People, when you look at how wonderful it is to come and live in central Portugal, nobody mentions the flies. The good news though is we've had lots of rain, and that should mean that we have rain now for the rest of the season, which is marvellous. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take each clove and we put the stubby end downwards in the ground, about 4 inches. Some people do it differently. Some people bury them much deeper than 4 inches. Some people put them literally, I don't know if you can see, but literally so the top, this is the top, just sits above the ground. I've watched a number of different channels who have done comparisons, and up to press it looks like planted at 4 inches depth is consistently the best harvest. So we'll see, we can only try. I think last year I planted them so that the top was just at soil level, and they did all right, and they definitely, I wouldn't say they got big, but they bulbed and they split. So I would have been happy with that. But then I left them a little bit longer thinking they would bulk up more. And unfortunately, that's not what happened at all. They basically fell over and rotted. So that was the end of that. But we did get very, very hot very early in the spring. So, excuse me catching the drips off my nose. I'll just continue planting. I did think about doing different heights this year, but I'm not going to, because realistically I still run about chickens, and knowing my luck, the buggers will just come in and dig them up before I've had a chance to sort that problem out. I have a plan to sort the problem out, but it takes some time. You can hear the guinea fowl. Perhaps you can hear them shouting in the background. I've been quite vocal the last few days. Make sure you put your stubby side down and the pointy end up when you're planting garlic. Go away. Flies, get off my face. I don't mind sharing my life with insects if they would just stay off my face. I think this is the first time I've been able to move around in the garden on my hands and knees and not be attacked by ants. Because of course the ants decide to leave, or at least they go dormant when it's raining. Although it's not raining right now, the sun's getting out and it's getting warm, but we've only got a few more minutes to go. So, let's hope for a decent harvest of garlic this year. Our family goes through a lot of garlic, both obviously for its flavour, but also for its medicinal uses. In fact, that's the next thing I intend to do this week, is get some fire cider on the go, ready for the winter months. Unfortunately, Kat and her other half, Fernando, are down with a really horrible bug at the moment, which is just marvellous because Kat's actually gone into hospital today to be induced. So, sending her all the good thoughts. I can't say pain-free birth because let's face it, that's unlikely. But steady progression and happy, healthy baby at the end of it. And hopefully she'll be home again very soon. These chairs still stuck together. I seem to have a lot more garlic than I expected to have to plant. So perhaps I'll do a bed in a different location as well. I've still got all this ready to plant. I guess I could move more over there, but I haven't prepared it today, and as I said, this is just a quick job before I go and have a client session. So I'll just get this all filled in. Fill in, fill in, fill in. Plenty of poop. Oh my goodness, my nose. As I say, it's fairly fresh rabbit poop, but the pony manure that's in there as well is, goodness me, at least 8 months old or so since I pulled some in, so it should be perfectly fine even though we're technically planting seeds. We will land up with lots of weeds in here because there is hay in it as well, but that's just the way it is. Hopefully I'll keep on top of pulling out what I can, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Aliens usually manage to do away quite well. Right, I'm just going to stomp, firm it down a little bit. And then I'll just grab the hose because although it has been drizzling, it's not very wet. It's not very wet in those holes, so we'll just give that all a good drizzle. Still some lovely warmth in the sun when it does come out. Okay, I'm recording this so that when my brain says, what on earth did I plant in there? You guys are going to be able to remind me that I planted some garlic. I'm going to leave that pile of mulch there, and as they shoot up, I will add it around the bases as required, or perhaps I'll use it for something else. There's plenty of straw in here anyway. Hay, I should say. Alright, I think that's good enough for now. I'll just show you a tiny bit of what's going on. This butternut squash has been completely, I think it's a butternut squash. It's still alive, but it's doing absolutely nothing. It's the only survivor. In here, we've got some lovely, healthy looking cabbage plants. They're lovely and healthy looking because I cheated and I got some plant starts. Because everything I grew from seed got eaten either by slugs and snails, as there are plenty here, or other things. Over here, this is the bed where I threw literally everything a couple of weeks ago. There's lots of these little bugs, I don't know if you can see them on screen. And down in it, there's a lot of grasses growing. There's also some basil. I think this is probably radish. I can't really remember. I put a whole bunch of anything that I thought the rabbits might eat down in here, and this is just going to be their, you know, come and grab a handful of whatever for their treats. Unfortunately, over here, under this thing, I'd planted some carrots in this bed, and literally all that came up was weeds. And I'll try to show you this teeny tiny little corner of carrots. So I'm going to reseed this bed again, but I've run out of carrot seeds. Well, I know I've got red carrot seeds somewhere, but that elusive somewhere. What else is there to show you? Oh yes, this funny little section over here that I used the trays for, just to hold the weed fabric up. As you can see, there's still weeds. It was actually weeded yesterday, but under here, these were all grown from seed, and the cabbagey looking things were plant starts. But they are looking good. Every day I have to come in and take the cover off though, and pick out the snails, because there are, I think yesterday I counted 5 big fat juicy snails that had managed to get under the covers. Oh, the wind's blowing it away. So, tuck that back down. The cover has blown off a couple of times, but up to press I've been lucky and it's not blown off when the chickens have been around. So yeah, all the way along there we've got things growing and looking healthy for the moment, at least, along with the weeds. Seriously, I came in here and I can show you. I came in here and pulled weeds yesterday. Look, they're all pulled. Ah, dear. Okay. And look, this little area here that I planted some seeds, we have one little lettuce. Just one. I do think this might be a thing, a something. I'm not sure. Everything else looks like weeds. And I think this might be chives, but I'm not sure, guys. Some kind of allium. It could be the walking onion, because we've got a couple of those here. Oh, I only see one. Where's the other walking onion gone? We had one here. Where's the other one gone? I don't know. We seem to have lost it, but these could be baby walking onions, which is fine. Maybe I'll dig them up and spread them out a little bit more. Okay, I better get my bum in gear. Do you know I've been pointing you at the sky all this time? What was I supposed to be showing you? Oh, dearie me. Healthy plants under the covers here. I do have to take the covers off and take the snails out every day, but they are doing really well under there, and I did weed it yesterday. I'm so sorry for showing the sky. I'll need to look on the edit and see what I missed showing you. Let's see. Did I show you the rabbits patch? I think we've got some radishes, a few other things, definitely some basil, maybe one or two brassicas coming up, and a whole bunch of grass. But the idea is we're just going to let this do its thing, and then I'll just come every day and grab a handful for the rabbit treats. Along the back here I've planted beans, but until I can contain the runabout chickens, along here I've planted beans, and along that one also planted beans and peas. Nothing has come up yet. Before it does, I've got to get those chickens up there contained. Okay, at least try to. Alright, thanks for watching Embrace the Chaos. I'm away to take this extra garlic back inside and get myself cleaned up, get a cup of tea and get some work done. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're having a great day.